My drill press. If there's one thing that I don't like about my drill press is that it's a spot for tools to gather. And that tabletop is just a natural landing spot for a lot of things. And the one thing that I do keep on my drill press or around it all the time is that transfer punch setup, and then a set of drill bits back there, Forstner bits, and then my twist bits are up here in front. Those are always at my drill press. Usually they're behind the fence. And it just gets to be a problem when you're moving things around to have to account for these things. You move them from one spot to another. You know, it kind of gets to be a vicious cycle of just constantly moving and finding and whatever. You know how it is when you're in your shop. You set something down, you can't find it, you don't remember where you put it. So my thought was, I'm going to build a shelf underneath using that piece of aluminum extrusion that's going vertical there as my post that I'll attach it to. So I'm going to build two brackets that are going to come out from either side. I'll be able to attach it to the extrusion with the slots, and then from that platform just build a shelf that wraps around that. I can adjust it up and down if I want, and I think it'll be pretty slick. But the thing that I want to be able to use it for mainly is to get all that stuff that's sitting on top, the stops, the jigs, the different things, and get them on a area below the main table where I can just have my workpiece and not everything else. So a quick sketch. You'll see the shelf here with the cutout for the post. I'm imagining it to be 8 inches, or I'm sorry, 11 1/8 inches. The post itself is 3 1/8 deep, so I have a full 8 inches out front here. And then here's my brackets. I'll build a couple of those. Well, I was looking for scrap to cut my angle brackets, and here they are. So I'm going to take this one that's a little wider. That's about 1.5 inches, and this one's about 2.5. I'll cut this first, then lay it on here and back it up, find out where I need to get two identical cuts. But this will be fine. This is just going to be cut here. This will angle up. This is about 12 inches long. Yeah. So this should be just lovely. So I just lay this first cut on here, making sure that these are parallel, flush. So I'll cut here and here. All right, laying out this opening, I got this little tool I purchased a while back, and this is the first time I'm using it. It's really quite nice to do. I just put it up against my post and lock everything in, and that's the opening right there. So I established a center line, my depth of cut 3 1/8 inches. And then I used the center rule here to lay out the opposite ends of the cut, and it's about 80 millimeters. So I just translated that to 3 1/8 inches, and put a couple dots on here, laid this on, brought it up, squared it up to the bottom of the line, and then when I got to my dot, I just kind of held it here in place, like right there, drew my lines, and there you have it. This is what I have to waste out right there. And then I will have on the bottom side here, I'll have a I've decided to have a couple dados running this way to mount the brackets. All right, this is a little bit of a dicey cut on a table saw, but if you take your time and do it like I'm doing it, it's fairly safe. I don't have my blade all the way up. I will raise it one more time. I did double check to make sure it was at 90 degrees, and it wasn't, so I corrected that. I made a couple of test cuts first to see where I was, because I'm registered against my fence and I'm flipping the board to make sure I get centered. This board has got a little bit of a warp to it this way, so I'm clamping this in. I would do that anyway, and I'm pulling back here against my miter gauge, and I'm just going to push through. And the other thing I did was, after I made this test cut, I scribed a line up the back side on both of these to eliminate tear out. So let's just give this a go. See how we do here. As long as I'm here, I'm going to raise this blade. Okay, I just finished cutting out my opening here. I tried it on my drill press and it's just like this. This is a drop. It's just snug. So I need to take just a hair off of both sides. I've got my fence locked in place here. I've got my micro adjuster. I'm just gonna move this just a fraction. There we go. That's nice. Just a little bit of wiggle room. Not much though.